So welcome, Esther, and thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I will start with a short introduction and then we'll dive right into your story. So Esther, we know you as a trauma-sensitive body therapist and the author of the book Die Magie der absichtlosen Berührung. And I've tried to translate it to English, but it's hard. I think what comes close is the magic of touch without an agenda, so without any intention from your side. And the book is a guide that helps women heal their sexual trauma and rebuild confidence through safe, full-body touch. And you also have a beautiful practice space. There you work with women, men, and couples. And there also a big part of your mission is to help people with traumatic experiences find self-love again. And we're really grateful that you're here today to talk about that and to talk about your journey of sharing your story more. And Nile has a first question for you.
Yes. No, I was like, when I was thinking about this podcast and talking to you again, Esther, it's been a while since you were on our Women's Hub stage. And I was thinking back to the day, I looked up the date. It was the 3rd of June, 2023. And back in the day, I remember that also for Ariana and me, it was a little step to put you on stage because there was this word Tantra in the description of your talk. And it felt a bit taboo. Is the audience ready to hear that story and talk about this topic? And so I remember that we were sitting in the audience while you were talking, and there was this energy in the room. It was very silent and everyone was like super focused on you and your words. And even afterwards, I was like, are people, kind of really opening up to your topic and to your story? And the one thing that I still have so clear in my head is that after your talk in the break, there was always this group of women around you. You always had like 4 or 5 women standing around you, asking you questions and connecting with you. And that was such a beautiful moment to witness and to see. And of course, this was now, our perspective from the outside. But we are wondering if you go back to that moment, how was that for you to share your story, I think for the very first time so publicly? And what did it help you on your journey in sharing your story going forward?
Thank you for the introduction. Yes, it's been 2.5 years ago, and that really was my very, very first time speaking for an audience. And I was nervous, I was shaking, I was trembling, I was holding the manuscript in my hand because from everything that I wanted to say at that point, I couldn't keep it in my head. So I was really nervous and very shaking because also the part of my profession is a part of my own history, a part of my healing journey. So that's why it was very emotional standing there. But the both of you give such a beautiful, lovely vibe. And because of that, you also have a lot of women coming to the Women's Hub with this high vibrating vibe. And we are all there to share a story that we never said before, for the many of us for the very first time. And that actually is also like a connection. You feel the sympathy, you feel the empathy when you watch the women in their eyes, and it makes us a little bit more easier, even though it was kind of hard to tell the story. And afterwards, I had like really beautiful talks. A lot of the women also came to me in my practice. So I gained a lot of new clients that came for the very first time having this experience. I heard a lot of their stories, their struggles, and the reason why they wanted to come to my place. So it was really nice connecting there. And a lot has happened because it was my first time speaking. After that, I opened up my own YouTube channel. I was on Swiss television. I made my book. I published my book. I started speaking more on Instagram stories because I thought, hey, if I did it for such a big group of women, bring the camera and let me tell you a story, how I feel at this moment. So for me, it was like the opening of speaking. And now it feels so naturally. But because of the both of you, that was really my first time. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Beautiful. And we want to dive into more of how did you find your voice and how you're now so confidently talking. But maybe it's good to start with what's your vision? What is it that you want women specifically to know about their bodies, about how to be with trauma, your work really?
Yeah. I noticed it because of my own healing. And my own healing path was really very long, and I had many different types of therapy. But I also noticed that the body really stores a lot of memory. And also the energetic field, because I work a lot with the energy. So like really connecting the souls, and I have a lot of spiritual people. So I also ask the spiritual world to help. And so I work with the body and with the energetic field. And I just noted through my own healing. And then also now I massage hundreds and hundreds of women. I calculated it yesterday. It's like 655 women I massaged in my place. And then, of course, the guy, the men, and then, of course, not the couples on top of that. So I have huge experience. And I just notice if you do an unintentional, in German, it's like absichtslosen, it's like a really strong word. In English, if I translate a book in English, I need to like find a word that is better, because unintentionally is kind of a little bit strange. But it is just like the energy. If you give a touch, and in this touch, we just see what happens. We just see where the energetic field goes, how the person reacts, how she reacts on the touch where maybe a trauma has been taken place. And she really wants to get rid of that trauma. And we send love and we send energy, and we don't have a goal. She doesn't have to perform. There is no end limit where we have to go. We just see how it is at that point, where she stands or where he stands, and then we go from there. And then I notice that in the tissue there is a lot of all the emotions that a person has can be stuck in a body part, and it can also be here, that can also be here, but of course also a lot in the intimate body parts. So first I started with like Tantra. But then I noticed, oh my God, I'm so much more. Not that Tantra is not enough, because Tantra really is a beautiful practice. If you really look at it, the old Buddhistic, Hinduistic ways, it's very beautiful. In the Western society, it has a little bit, the touch has changed. But if you look at this old tradition, and then also the spiritual part and the energetic part and the really body-soul and the body-soul-mind connection, and also recognizing our heart frequency and our soul frequency. And in this frequency, I connect the souls, and then I connect with the earth, and I connect with the divine. And then many times if people are spiritual, I also ask if the spiritual world can help me. And then a lot of magic just happens. Then I'm just like a channel, and a lot of energy just flows through me. And if people are not spiritually and they're like, oof, I'm not really open for that, then we connect on heart frequency level, because that also works, because we all know how it is to fall in love. I mean, it's not measurable, but we feel it, we connect it. And I massage in this feeling. I massage in the feeling is, I honor you. I honor your story. Where are you? Where do you want to go? What are your wishes, your dreams, your hope, your fears, your shame? But also, what do you want? Do you really want to get rid of all the blockages that you have? And how far do you want to go today? And what is your wish for today? And then we really set the boundaries. We really set clear limitations on how far she wants to go. And then in that field, I work with her body, and a lot can happen then, because it's also like, if you really want to heal and you really feel, okay, today's the day, I really feel it, and you make this appointment with me, usually people, they think about all of these steps like many weeks, and all of these steps, thinking about it, preparing yourself mentally, and also sometimes super spontaneously, because the energy is just like there. All of those steps are actually helping. So you actually heal with your own wish. And I just help you realize that you actually have everything within. I am just like the little bridge that helps you. But we all have it within, only with the strength of our voice. I am ready now. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. And this wisdom that the body has, and that you can then bring out in the healing that our bodies can do in a time where we're so much on our phone and with AI and all of that. I think it's so beautiful that you really bring it back to that. And you were just talking about where trauma can live, and you touched your throat, which is, of course, a big part of our mission with the Women's Hub, is to have women liberate their throats and speak their vision. So I want to tie back to that for you. And yeah, want to know a little bit more about, you were at the Women's Hub Day, you used your voice to talk about your mission, your vision, what you want to create in the world. What happened after that? So you shared, you got people from the Women's Hub coming, you found this courage to share more. How did that feel in your body to do that journey of, unlocking your throat and speaking?
I was just like really proud that I gave my best at that point. And I thought, okay, I did this. So what is the next step? For me, it is just really important because there are so many people, they don't know about this work. And if I don't speak about it, they will not find out. And so that's like my mission. And so I was just first very proud. And then sometimes there is also some self-doubt. You're like, maybe I should have prepared better. Maybe this, maybe that. But then there is also the other point, and also my soul sisters, they're like, no, you did perfectly. You were fine. Just at that point, you gave your best. And that's enough. And then you look back again with proud. So now when I look back, I'm just proud of myself that I did it, that I opened my throat. And that was a really long journey for me doing that. But you can see I'm fine. I'm in tune with myself. So, and that all happened because of you. That was the very, very first time for me speaking in like an audience with eyes watching me. So, yeah, it was really cool.
I think especially maybe the women that listen to this and might be, I also have a story to share, or I have a vision, and I feel, I don't know if the world is ready for me or for what I have to say, or maybe it's a bit of a taboo topic, or we experience this or have this thought that it might be in a taboo. Do you have any recommendation or anything you would like to say to these women who are still holding back, maybe because of some of these thoughts that are coming up?
That the road that she is, we already been there, and if she wants to tell her story, I really believe we are like all connected. And every story that we hear, a part of that story is a part of our story. And then we get like this ripple effect. One person tells the story, and it just gives the ripple effect with another one, that it gets inspired to also go in this healing journey, to also tell their story. And that's like something that we women have. We have this beautiful female connection, because we are really also connected with so much, because we feel so much, we have so much senses, we have our womb telling us a story. I mean, all the mothers, you got like a spirit sent from above into your womb. So we are so incredibly spiritually also connected. And then if we start telling each other a story, we can actually, because of this ripple effect, help each other, and we can create a movement, because there are so many women movements, and it is so incredibly necessary. And we all are doing this, we all are opening up our voices for women that cannot. We can be very grateful for all of our ancestors that spoke up. Otherwise, we still didn't have the right. We didn't have so many rights. So we as a women, we are very strong in telling our story. And that's like really beautiful. Yeah.
What I found really powerful about the way that you went about telling your story is you were really honoring that this is hard, and that we have ancestors that were not allowed to share their story. And I remember that we were kind of challenging you and saying, you don't need notes, like do the talk without notes. And you said, no, I do need them and I want them. And to honor this, for this step in my journey, I want my notes to feel safe. And I think that's another thing that is so important in this, to find, when you speak up for the first time, to find which audience feels like a safe place for me. How do I want to show up? And for you, I think you already felt that one day you were going to be on Swiss television without any notes, just sharing your story beautifully. But right on that day of the Women's Hub Day, you needed them to feel safe and to be ready for the next step. And I found that really inspiring, that you're not pushing yourself, but really honoring, I know it's going to be big. I know I'm going to publish a book about this and talk about it and do all these big things. And today, this is the first step. And this is how I do that. And that's another invitation I would give to people, is to really honor, where am I today? I have this big dream, but there are small steps toward that big dream. And it's more important to do that first small step than to aim for having a YouTube channel with 1 million followers right from day one, because that's not how this works. And I found that really powerful.
Yeah, I also think that's very important, because I had so many traumas, probably out of fear, maybe I wouldn't even speak at all. And that note, holding it in my hand, knowing this, because that was like my little safe space. That gave me confidence, and it was my safe space, holding it, knowing it. I could read from it, and then at one point not read from it and tell it, but still I had my little safe space. And so everybody does it a different way. All the other women on that day were like speaking, and I was completely fine with my notes. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that was really great.
Mm-hmm.
We're already coming towards the end of our conversation, but is there, when you tune in, is there anything you feel you want to share to complete this snapshot of your journey that we got today?
Yeah. First of all, I want to have a really big thank you to the both of you, because you were like my start. I even put that on my website. So the start Women Have, I'll send you the link. And for me, if everybody resonates with the work that I do, but they're like, hey, for me, that's not possible to do that because I'm still ashamed. Everything is fine. That's why I really wrote this book. The book at this point is only in German, but I worked on this for 2 years. Everything that I know is in it. It's completely illustrated. So if you don't like to read, you can just watch the illustrations. It's everything that I do, so women can really start their own healing journey at home. And because I made this from the inside and really helping in the healing, because I really believe that the earth, the more women that are healed, the more stronger that we are. That's also my vision. A world full of healed women having a voice, speaking about it, going to the Women's Hub and speaking about it. And that really helps if we are healed, if all the chakras are aligned. I just wanted to say that. Yeah. And thank you for the both of you. Thank you for making the Women's Hub possible.
Thank you, Esther. And I can really feel that, this comes from a heart, and this is, it's so deeply ingrained in you that you want to help these women heal and bring that to the world. And that's beautiful to see. And it has been a pleasure to follow your journey on that and see those steps that all came together in big and small ways. So thank you for also letting us in on your journey.